Good morning, everyone, and welcome on. We are back for another episode of Sorgi and Friends, episode 5, coming at you on this Monday morning. Anthony Sorgi alongside Nick Nash, president of Carroll Sports Media. Nick, how we doing?
Good. Man, I'm on here a lot. So as I'm on here, the introductions get a little bit less and less.
Well, we, we
Um,
have we have a guest coming on in a few moments, so
very soon. So yeah,
yes,
I'm feeling pretty good and excited to get to our guest.
yeah, absolutely. We have a few things to talk about between our guests, and then after. Um, Wimbledon, of course, happened yesterday. Cooper Flag shut down for Summer League. MLB Draft was last night. Club World Cup wrapped up. Red Sox are hot right now in the MLB. Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, they faced off yesterday. So yeah, plenty of stuff to talk about. Um, but Nick, how we feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Anything you'd like to say before we have our guest on?
No, the spinny chair keeps spinning me the opposite direction. But
It's
other than that,
unfortunate.
other than that, I think I'm ready.
Okay. Well, Nick, we have quite the two guests today.
Mhm.
Um, they're both PCL champions.
Mhm.
They're both from the Northeast. Your boys at Father Judge, as you like to
My
say.
boy's a father judge.
Um, and yeah. So without further ado, let's welcome on PCL champion, the member of the Father Judge Crusaders, Jeramiah. How we doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Um, Happy to have you on this morning. First of all, if I read your Instagram correct, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy to have you on today. Um, I guess first question is I was mentioning um, PCL champs. Talk about playing at the Palestra because getting to see, I was there for both of the games. Nick was there for um, you didn't see the game on Sunday, Nick, but you were there beforehand. You saw the sea of
Yep.
baby blue file in. Um,
Yeah.
it was something. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Um, that Sunday with just a sea of baby blue in the arena. Can you just talk about what those two nights were like?
Uh, they were like super electric. It was like imagine like an NBA Finals Game 7 for 2 straight games. That's really what it was like.
Nick,
That
go ahead if you had anything else to say.
yeah, that's probably it. That's what I was saying.
Nick,
Could you just talk about those fans at Father Judge and how they kind of contribute to your guys and your guys' success?
I'll say that the fans that follow Judge, they're really supportive, even through like when we lose, even when we win. They're still cheer the same way. So I would say that they're probably one of the best parts of being on the Judge basketball team.
the culture there. That's something that I heard in the post game press conferences at the Palestra. Coach Roomtree talked a lot about. Can you talk about the culture that he's built? Obviously, he had Kaver and Everett and guys like that. Now it moves on to you, Derek Moore Rivera, Nas Tyler, and it just continues to grow there in the Northeast. Can you talk about what the culture's like?
Well, the culture is just like a college environment, I would say. Like we just practice every day, basically. We do the same thing every day, so we can keep a strict schedule, so we know what we have to do to win and stuff. So we can keep winning. So hopefully we can go back to back. Really, what it is.
Nick?
Yeah, can you talk about Philly Live? I mean, probably the biggest showcase um, possibly in the country. Can you just talk about what that is like?
Real life is it's like one big AU tournament, I would say. Like when our game was like a bunch of college coaches, so it's really like there's pressure, but like it really isn't that much pressure because you know that either way, if you play good, if you play bad, you're still gonna get looks from all the college coaches that were at the game. So I think that Philly Live is probably one of the most helpful ways to get like everybody that if they weren't on any college coaches radar before Philly Live that they're on it now. Probably that's what I would say.
I want to ask, kind of going back to the Palestra for a moment, the preparation, because obviously, I guess your freshman year you guys went, but the just the year to year, even with obviously somewhat of a new core heading into this coming, or sorry, last year I guess now, the preparation from going into the average PCL gym, whether it be um, the smaller ones like Devon Prep or West Catholic, or if it's a St. Joe's Prep or a Holy Family where Roman plays. Um, Obviously, every gym is somewhat similar, but then you go into a big arena. Can you talk about kind of how you just prepare for that change?
Uh, Most of the time you really just have to make sure that when you get there that you get a good warm up. You make sure you get your shot right and stuff because there's a lot of depth perception that goes into the shots because you know how there's normally a wall behind all the rims and stuff. At the Palestra's just straight bands that you just see when you're shooting. So most that's really what the was probably the hardest part about the Palestra out thing.
Absolutely. Can you talk about, I mean, the bonds that you've been able to make with your teammates and coaches at Father Judge?
The bonds is really like special. I would say everybody on the team likes each other. All the coaches like us. So I would say that everybody just is. It's really like one big family. I would say.
And off of that, you talked about how Philly Live is like an a big AAU tournament. Um, can you talk about kind of the difference between playing with the guys that you're at school with every day compared to a different group in AAU, and kind of if you like one more than the other?
AAU is really just like you only see them on select few days, so you really have to make the well, not really make the most, but you really like the bonds that you have to make is really just like off the court that you have to see them. Like the thing about school, like you see those guys every day, so it's easier to make strong bonds with them because every day you see them in school. So it's just like that's probably why we have like the best team chemistry because we practice every day. We see each other in school every day. So I would say that's that's probably why.
Well, you talking about school sort of segued into my next question, so that made it a lot easier for me right there. So I appreciate that. But can you just talk about what school is like at Father Judge?
Um, School part is I would say it's like a normal school. You really just have to the schoolwork. It's good. It challenges you, and I would say like everything else like the extracurriculars and stuff really helps you later to get you later in life. And like if you're a judge guy, then like everybody in the Northeast knows you. So like I'm on the basketball team. So I walk out with some Father Judge basketball gear like what I have on right now. Some random judge guy would just walk up to me and say, "Hey, you play at Father Judge or like you play on the basketball team?" So it's really the school part is really just not even in the school; it's outside of school as well.
Off of that, talking about that judge kind of culture in the family, that's something that I heard Coach Rowntree talk about, is like how down the shore there are tons of judge people who all are constantly getting together. And he was talking about how when you guys won, the parties that were going on in the Northeast. Um, can you talk about that kind of bond where whether it's someone like you who's a class of 2027 or someone who is a class of 1977, and just kind of that bond, because you're both judge guys?
The bond is like I would say it's special. Like there's not a lot of schools where like there's not a lot of schools where if you walked out with the gear, like everybody would know who you are in that particular area. Like it's really easy to bond if you're a judge guy, because most of the time it's easy to make small talk off being a judge guy and stuff, and it really helps you get to places. and stuff. That's what I would say.
Absolutely.
Did your guys' classmates sort of, lift you guys up prior to the Catholic League Championship and going into states to really, boost up the morale a little bit?
Yeah, they were encouraging us throughout the school days, like before the Catholic League Championship, and even before states and stuff. They would just always tell us that you better win, or like if you don't win, we're still gonna support you either way. So I would say that the classmates helped us encourage and support us during the whole like journey and stuff too.
Off of Nick's question, mentioning states, how different was states from the PCL championship? Obviously, you end up playing Roman in the final, beating them 3 times in the end of it, and then obviously you beat Imhotep in the semifinals. Who I think you guys went 2-1 on the year total against. Can you talk about just what that states experience was like compared to the PCL playoffs and the city championship?
States, it felt like a huge. It felt like an NBA arena. I would say like the Palestra is huge. It's like all the seats were filled in Palestra, but in the Hershey Arena, not even all the seats were filled, and I think there was like 3,000 people there, and it was only like a few rows in the middle, on each side. So I would say like it's bigger, so you would have to. I guess it's even harder to adjust to the Hershey, the state's gym, than the Palestra. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of what Anthony was talking about there about states. If I'm not mistaken, that was your guys' first time in school history making it to the state championship, I believe. Or how did
Yeah.
that feel? I mean, it's got to be crazy, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. It felt nice being the first ever team in Judge history to make it to states, and then to go on and win states as well is even more of a surreal feeling at that.
You guys lost Kaveri Kennedy and Everett Barnes obviously this off season, but at Philly Live, you guys looked like you didn't miss a beat. You were playing great team basketball, just walking around. That's what everyone was saying is like, watch out for Judge, watch out for Judge. Can you talk about just how you feel like you guys are just going to be able to rebound even though you lose 2 great players and still be contender at the top of the league?
I would say that at Philly Live, because we have like new freshmen, even new transfers on the team. So I would say that, like I was saying before, the bonds like team chemistry is what will help us out what helped us out during Philly Live, and what would help us out during the season, going into in the PCL season, and hopefully states as well.
Absolutely.
Me and Anthony were actually there when you guys played Imhotep, um, and were able to come out of that game victorious. Is it different playing, or how much different is it playing, out of conference teams than it is playing teams in the Catholic League?
Out of conference teams, most of the time, even if it's like a Philly team, you know some of the players on the team beforehand. So, but even then, the scouting is different than what it would be in the PCL because it has all these stats. But you don't know, like sometimes they're playing bad competition, and sometimes you don't know how they would play against like good competition. So it's really just it's hard to adjust in PCL, but you know that either way you have to show out and show that you're one of the best teams.
I'll ask kind of off of what Nick was asking about playing outside of the PCL. What about playing inside of the PCL? Because we saw whether it be with a number of teams, including you guys, that any outcome can come from any night. How one of the worst teams in the league can beat one of the best. Can you talk about just kind of that, um, how that just kind of feels to be constantly in close games, even when you might not expect it?
It really shows you that. even if you're playing, even if you're playing a team at the bottom of the conference, or if you're playing a team at the top of the conference, you have to know that you have to give it your all, and you have to have energy and effort during each game because you never know if some dude on the PCL might hit like 7 threes that game against you guys, or another dude might drop 40. So you just have to be ready for everything that comes towards you.
Yeah, I'm actually out of everything that I wanted to ask here. So thank you so much. I have to think Anthony's got some more.
Yeah, I have a couple more. The LaSalle offer that you picked up. Um, how did it feel to get that offer? You know, hopefully the first of many. But how did it feel to pick up an offer from a Big Five school?
It was a real feeling because you work all your life, you work hard, you go to a prestigious school just to even get one. So to get that first offer, it really felt amazing. But I knew that when I got that first offer, that I would want even more after that. So
And last question from me, Jeremiah. How do you feel about this coming year? Obviously, you guys are looking to go back to back. Kind of just thoughts and feelings on how the year's going to go.
uh, I think we are gonna go back to back in the PCL, and we're gonna go back to back in states as well. But hopefully this year we can go 3 for 3 and get the city. Because last year we lost to Imhotep when I don't think we should have. So I think we'll come back and win all three.
Jeremiah, thank you for joining us this morning. And have a great rest of your birthday.
Thank you. You too. I mean, have a good rest of your day, I meant.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Happy
one.
birthday.
Thank you.
There we go, Nick.
That was great right there.
Great interview. Great interview.
That was probably the best that we have had
Yeah.
thus far.
I mean,
Not just I would probably
top Olin
say
Chamberlain.
it was very hard. Obviously, with my my first question, I asked Olin Chamberlain, but I'm just talking in terms of length. That
Yeah.
was and obviously questions and everything and answers that we got. That was probably the best interview one of, if not the best interview we've had here. So it is hard to top Olin Chamberlain because that's our guy. But all the interviews here have been spectacular. But that was very good.
Hi, Nick. You ready to hit it? The gauntlet of things we need to hit in the sports world.
I think so.
Okay, let's. I don't know if you were watching, but yesterday I came inside from some yard work in the morning, and I said I'm turning on ESPN because it's Sinner versus Alcaraz, a rematch of Roland Garros, from the clay of Paris to the grass of London and Wimbledon. First set, it was 6-4 Alcaraz, and then Sinner, the Italian, and the rival of the young Spanish phenom. He wins sets 2, 3, and 4, 6-4. Nick, this is a rivalry that we will be watching for years to come in the tennis world.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to call it a rivalry when both guys respect each other.
They do, very much.
As much as these two guys do. You don't have to watch tennis to know that Alcaraz is one of the best we've seen in a long time. He is great. Their last match, one of the lengthiest matches in the history of, well, I guess tennis. I'm not quite sure.
That's one
I
of the
guess
longest
so.
matches I've ever watched. It's insane.
5.5 hours. This one not as lengthy, but to see Alcaraz go down like that, it's kind of shocking to most, just because you see he is one of the top in the world of tennis, I guess. So yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, and next, Nick, they're headed right here to the States for the U.S. Open, of course, just across the street from Citi Field in Queens. Nick, or do you think we're going to get another rematch here?
That would be cool. I mean, you gotta hope so. It would be nice to get another one. Just because they're so good and it brings in a lot of viewership due to that. So it would make a lot of sense marketing wise.
Yeah.
But it would also make sense, for the players. just because they want to have fun and they want to go against the best competition, this is where it's going to happen right here.
Absolutely. Let's go to the NBA Summer League. Of course, the very overhyped matchup of Bronny James and Cooper Flagg happened, which I did not watch. Which
I did.
What night
I
was
did.
that?
Saturday?
Was it? Okay, well then Saturday. What was that?
Either Saturday or Friday. Friday or Saturday.
Both of those nights I was watching baseball, so I missed out.
Well, the Phillies had already ended, I believe. By the time, the Phillies had already ended by the time that we had turned it on.
But Cooper Flagg shut down for the remainder of Summer League. Not a big shock, but I think it's just worth mentioning.
That was Thursday. So I was off. So that was Thursday. Cooper Flagg shut down. He did play the game against Dylan Harper, where he scored 31 points in a loss. Dylan Harper, obviously one of the top names to look at, scored 16 points in Cooper Flagg's first game against Bronny James. It was a little bit of a underwhelming one, I guess you could say. It's a 2-point victory. I believe James had the last shot, and he took it from very far. With James ending with 8 points, Dalton Knet with 15, and the leading scorer, I don't even know who this is, so I guess I'm no ball. I can't even tell you. Like, ESPN's not even telling me.
Oh.
Cole Swider?
I've heard the name. I couldn't tell you.
Possibly. That might be him.
Couldn't tell you a thing about him.
Might not be him.
Nick, quick shout out. Big shout out. We have 6 people watching. So
that's awesome.
That's more than usual. So I appreciate the Sorgi Squad show now. Make sure to subscribe. We'll be back on when will we be back? We'll be back Wednesday, I think. Yeah, we'll be back Wednesday. At least I will be. I don't know if you will be, Nick, but
I'll join. Yeah, absolutely. It is Cole Swider, who had 22 points.
Wednesday at 11 with Bryce Presley of Roman Catholic, and then Friday at noon with Alexis Ebers of Archer Carroll, and then Friday at 4 with Aaron Gracie, of course, the local writer, who had a great book about St. Joe's U and their great season in 2003. Nick, let's take it now to the Philadelphia Phillies. Gage Wood is now a Philly. I think it was you who said he's not going to get to pitch much. I think this guy could make an immediate difference as soon as next year, a year, or maybe it's 2027.
Well, first off, I'll give my final thoughts on Cooper Flagg.
Go ahead.
It's very smart for them to shut him down. Don't want to get your number 1 overall pick injured. He did only score 10 points against Bronny James and the Lakers, but it doesn't really matter. He scored 31 the next night. He's very, very good. It's smart to shut him down. Gage Wood. That's what we're on now. I think it might take a little bit to see him pitch for the Philadelphia Phillies, just due to the, I guess, star power that the Phillies already have in the rotation. Obviously, you talk about guys that should have been all-stars in Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez. Zach Wheeler said he will be retiring following his contract ending. But who knows if that will be true. Christopher Sanchez still has time, along with Ranger Suarez and other guys. I'm not quite sure, contractually where we are. Aaron Nola, who signed, a 7-year deal with the Philadelphia Phillies, will be coming back in August, and people are forgetting about this guy. He's been one of your top pitchers for 6 years. Taijuan Walker, who has been making buzz in the bullpen, could see room in the rotation. And you have guys down in AAA like Andrew Painter, who we still haven't seen just due to the fact that we have too many good arms in the starting rotation. Not talking about the bullpen, definitely not talking about the bullpen. But
Yeah.
the starting
So
rotation
yeah.
has a lot of star
Anything more?
power.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about free agents, Nick. Because I'm just going to go through the guys who are going to be free agents of the Phillies after this year: JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber, Max Kepler, Jordan Romano, Joe Ross. Heading into arbitration, the Rangers: Suarez, Alec Boehm, Jesus Luzardo, Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, Edmundo Sosa. Pre-arbitration, you got a number of guys, whether it be Otto Kemp, Orion Kirkering, Johan Rojas, Rafael Marchand, Tanner Banks. And then after 2026, free agents, you've got Nick Castellanos, Taiwan Walker. So for the Phillies, I think you could see him in the next few years. I would say Aaron Nola obviously didn't have a hot start to the year, but he's going to get a spot easily over Gage Wood.
I mean, he's getting like
Nola's
$150 million. You got to give him a spot.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
The question is, will he end up pitching out of the bullpen to start, and then once he gets hot, they move him to a starting role? I think that's a safe bet, just to get him back into the groove of pitching in the MLB. But also pitching out of the bullpen could be detrimental to the arm. That's something that we've heard a lot about. So that'll be interesting to see, just because of how much you're warming up, even though you don't pitch half the time. Nick, continuing with baseball, the Red Sox winning streak, 10 wins for the Sox.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, the Phillies are also going to get back Jose Alvarado, but
yes,
I know we're on a time crunch here. So,
but Jose Alvarado won't be in the playoffs.
He will not be in the playoffs, but for a push for first place and that number 1 seed, he will be huge.
Reminder that the number 1 seed means nothing in baseball. Thank you.
Doesn't matter. You want that bye.
Yeah. Do you want the bye?
I think so.
I mean, how many teams that have had the bye have won their series? Not many. The Phillies lost last year with the bye.
It's all right.
But what I would say is that with the Red Sox, it does not seem as if they will be selling like we thought 2 weeks ago they would be. Jarren Duran probably doesn't go anywhere. How do you feel about this Red Sox team?
Well, I mean, the Red Sox are picking it up. They're still 3 games back of first place, and they have, 3 back-to-back tough matchups coming up, possibly even 4 if you want to count the Minnesota Twins as tough to deal with in their first series here in the Chicago Cubs, then, facing off against the Philadelphia Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is 3 good teams. So they are riding, a very good winning streak here and are, making, I guess, sort of a name for themselves as they're trying to take over the Blue Jays in first place. But they have, some tough games coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get to our next interview in a few minutes, Nick, MLB draft last night as a whole, obviously, a little bit of a surprise as Eli Willits went number 1 to the Nats. Ethan Holiday fell to Colorado. Cade Anderson fell to Seattle. Thoughts on the craziness that was last night and how the board fell?
Well, for the Washington Nationals, you're supposed to think they've been in a rebuild for however long that they have been, however many years since they've won that World Series. You want to get a guy that could help you right now if you're in that rebuild. So that's, Ethan Holiday or what's his name? The pitcher from LSU. Yep. Who would have been huge for them, but instead they go to, a high schooler that is not Ethan Holiday with the number 1 overall pick that probably won't play for 3 to 4 years until possibly 2030. So the rebuild will last for 10 years, however long it's been since they won the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting that they didn't go with Cade Anderson because although you can say what you want about Ethan Holiday, but he's also a high schooler. And if I'm the Nats, I want my winning window to start as soon as possible. So I found that a little bit interesting, how just that ended up working out. And I think that they have obviously James Wood, C.J. Abrams, a number of guys. So I think that the fact that they didn't go after a star pitcher was a little bit interesting to see how that worked out. Because of the fact that, well, as I said, as you said, Nick, they should want to win now. So I think for the Nats, they're not going to be sitting very high in the NL East for a few years. But Nick, our second guest has arrived, and we will have Ryan Sullivan here in a minute to ask some questions, also joining. But let's get right into it, Nick. We have another PCL champion joining us now, from Father Judge, PCL state champ, Nas Tyler, joins the show. Nas, how we doing?
I'm good. How are you? How are you guys doing?
Great. Could
Great.
not be better.
Nice.
We were talking to your teammate Jeramiah earlier, and we talked to him about playing in the Palestra. Can you talk about what that experience was like for you? Obviously getting to win 2 games there, and just how special an atmosphere that is.
It's really special. I've played there, 2 years now. The environment, never fails to, live up to the hype, and it is just great. It's a, environment every player, wants to play in, dream to play in, and it don't get much better. Just the crowd and the fans, and you go out there and you're playing in front of 10,000 people. I mean, that's, what other stage would you want to play on?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, you were just talking about the fans, and we were just talking to Jeremiah about the fans, but can you just sort of talk about what the fans have done for you guys?
They definitely, bleed energy into the gym and, give us, that extra motivation, to push, and it's always good to play in front of a crowd, that's, cheering you on and, backing you up and, supporting you. So they definitely, bring energy into the crowd. I definitely think it helps, with the opposing team and, what I mean, just getting the game, riled up and, perhaps getting under the opponent's team's skin. So I definitely think, having a crowd like that, it definitely helps.
What did it feel like? Because as a guy who's the St. Joe's Prep guy walking in Sunday, and I'm up at the media level at the top of the gym, and I just see all of this baby blue, and I'm like, I expected a good turnout, but this much, it was surprising, and just to see how everyone showed out. What was that like to just walk out and be like, it's Championship Sunday at the Palestra, and this is a sea of baby blue?
It was great. It definitely, gives you more confidence, that knowing that, you have, support from all over, fans, students, and not just them, but alumni too. They still, come back and, enjoy the games. They're there and it's a lot of them, but it's definitely great, seeing, a lot of blue in that gym, seeing a lot of people, that's supporting you and, want you to win. So it definitely, gives you confidence for sure.
What is it like playing in all these different gyms, not just around the Catholic League, but, outside of, and, obviously we talked about the Palestra and really in states as well?
It's different for sure. You're gonna meet, where you're gonna hear, from their fans, and you're gonna, hear different things from different people. Playing in different gyms is nice. You definitely, get a kind of feel of what it's like to play in every gym. Some more, hostile than other, depending on the fans. But you're definitely gonna, depending on who you're playing and where you're at, it's definitely, it's definitely crazy for sure. And with how they're supporting them, and the trash that they might talk to you, it's great. It's great.
Do you have a favorite road atmosphere in the PCL to go play in? Is it a rivalry game? Is it just a small gym that you like? Kind of how just kind of small it is. You prefer a bigger gym? Kind of what's your favorite atmosphere on the road to go play against?
I definitely prefer a bigger gym. Small gyms can be, tough to play, especially, how, we play, as a team. I definitely prefer a bigger gym, but I think it makes it better too. You get more people in the gym. you get, you know what I mean? It's louder, you know, I believe. So I think it's definitely better, you know, playing in a bigger gym with more people.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ryan Sullivan, who will be joining us shortly, needs the link here. So,
Okay,
Anthony, if you
let me
could
send it to
sort
him.
of take care of that. I was just talking to Jeremiah about the states,
Mhm,
and how you guys were able to win the state championship,
mhm.
and we believe it was the first time in your guys' school history.
Correct.
How does that feel?
It was great, you know, just taking full advantage of, you know, having to be our first time and, you know, school history and just want to be, you know, stamped as the best team in school history. So, you know, we went all out and, you know, we talked about, you know, just having one game at a time, you know, not looking ahead and, you know, not really looking, you know, ahead games or for a rematch of, you know, a team that we may have lost to. But it was great for sure. It definitely was motivating. You know, first time, you know, in school history, it definitely made us, you know, go harder and, you know, want to win it all because, you know, we felt like we should have won, you know, the city chip and but we get another and we had another opportunity to, you know, capitalize on that and I think and then we did that.
And here we go. And as I wait here to let's get him here.
What's up,
There he
fellas?
is, straight from
What's up?
St. Joe's Prep. Ryan Sullivan at Prep U.
And that's
Ryan,
Andrew
you want to go
Dyke.
ahead and ask some
Is that
questions?
Nick Mash?
That is Nick Mash, Andrew Dyke. That is Nick Mash.
Oh my God, it's Anthony Sorgi.
Yes, that is Nick.
Ryan,
Okay,
Let's
let's
keep it professional, guys.
yeah, let's keep it professional. All right, Nas, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, great. Well, I'm dealing with, you know, never mind. But anyway, Nas, George, you want me to start?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Nas, last year on the Father Judge team, when you guys were able to prevail and win the PCL Championship and the state championship, really most of your role was kind of just being a perimeter shooter, especially from the top of the key. Going into next season, do you think that your role is going to be increased to a little bit more? And if so, what do you think you're going to be able to do?
Definitely. It's definitely going to increase more. You know, I've already started having that conversation, you know, with my coaches now. Just being an all-around player, really, not being, you know, just one-dimensional. You know, what I mean, just, you know, showcasing, you know, everything I can do, and you know, my team is needing, you know, to for me to do that. You know, just, you know, being an all-around player and just really doing a little bit of everything. You know, most importantly, just contribute, you know, to winning, doing what it takes to win, and really that's, you know, that's about it.
What kind of expectation have you put on yourself when it comes to trying to help the team win?
Um, really, you know, really again, just doing everything. Rebounding the basketball and you know, defending. You know, everything. You know, everything that takes to win, and you know, more, even more. You know, plus some. You know, I mean, just you know, playing hard and playing 110%.
All right.
I want to ask about the culture there at Judge. We know that's something Coach Roomtree has talked a lot about. He talked about it to Palestra in the post-game pressers that Ryan and I were in. Can you talk about just that strong culture of being a Judge guy and playing for that program?
It's great. It's great. You know, you hear about, you know, being a judge guy and you know what that's like. You know, you go out and you know, you might be wearing, you know, judge and you know, a lot of people know you, especially in the, you know, the Northeast, you know, area, that neighborhood. It's great because you know, you're seen as a gentleman, you know, as a man. Um, Being a judge guy is really good. I believe. You know, I mean, you know, it gets, you know, I mean, it it allows you, it allows people like to recognize you and who you are, you know, more and you know, they they see, they once they see you're a judge guy, they kind of, you know, understand what type of person you are. So it's great. It's great, honestly.
Nick?
Okay.
Nick, do we have a problem with my sandwich?
I do. Um,
You don't like peanut butter and jelly?
no, it's making me laugh a little bit.
That's a
Trying to
little
keep
weird.
it professional here.
I got to eat too.
Anyways, sorry, I apologize. What was Philly Live like for you? Obviously, college coaches everywhere. This is a huge showcase. What was that like?
It's always great, you know, really live playing in front of a bunch of coaches, playing, you know, really good competition as well. Really just, you know, kind of seeing where we're at in the summertime, 6 months away from the season. We had a pretty good showing. But I always think it's great, playing in front of, college coaches and, really just, showcasing, what you can do and getting your recruitment, started. And yeah, so it's great, love playing, love for the
If I can add to that real quick or ask a question, you talked about the college coaches and the great experience that was. Was there any college coaches that contacted you after Philly Live, trying to recruit you to their program?
Yes, I got it. Since the live, period thing started where, coaches can contact you, your sophomore summer. Definitely some coaches, either hit me or text me or my coach. So that's been good, just kind of getting the recruitment started.
Can you reveal any of those schools that maybe have contacted you or not at this time?
They contacted me personally with FDU and North Carolina A&T.
All right, cool. Sorgi, do you want me to ask my next official question?
Sure, go ahead.
What do you say?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So after losing Kavere Kennedy and Everett Barnes, arguably the two best players on the Father Judge team last year, who's going to kind of step up for the Father Judge team? Obviously yourself, but is there anybody else that really, is going to step up to fill that gap?
Really, it's a collective, effort. The guys that are all returning, Marco Westfield, Max Mashinsky, and myself, and you have Jeremiah. So we all just got to step up and kind of fill those big shoes that them two filled, and just got to come together as one, and what I mean, just kind of just keep the the winning going, and use our experience and what we've been able to do.
I want to ask a little bit about Max Mashinsky. If there was a most improvement award, I probably would have given it to him after Philly Live. Can you talk a little bit about the improvement that he made over the course of Philly Live?
He's had yeah, this is he's having a really good year. He's having a breakout year. I feel like not a lot of people knew like who he was, but they're starting to know who he is now. He's he's a really good player, athletic. I think he could be a really good player in this league. And he's getting the recognition he now deserves, and so I think that's great for him.
And one final follow up here. You talked a little bit about the guys who are going to step up next season to fill the gap from Everett and Kavere. Sorry, where would you rank yourselves at the current moment in time on the PCL level?
All right, us as a team.
Yeah.
I think obviously I think we're the best team in the league. We're the only team in the league that's bringing back two all Catholics. So I think again like I think we'll be the best team there, and I think we'll be able to go out there and prove it.
All right, Sorgi.
Off of Ryan's question about next year, I mean I asked about atmospheres earlier. Is there a certain place that you're looking forward to play this year? Obviously, you play in half the gyms. 1 year, half the gyms the other year. Is there a certain place that you're looking forward to having this coming year?
Not really a place specific. I'm looking to play. Just just want to go out there. No matter where we got to go, who we got to play. Just want to go out there and win, and showcase what we can do and how good of a team we, and how good we are as players individually, and how we can all come together and make it work.
Yeah, are the atmospheres, we were talking to Jeremiah and he was saying at the Palestra when you have to shoot and there's just a wall of fans there. Does that make as big of a difference as we think it does?
It's a small difference, not as big as you may think, because once you're out there, what I mean, you're not really paying attention to the fans or really behind the court. But it makes a small difference, but not as big as you may think. If you're a true shooter, a real shooter, then it shouldn't really bother you or affect you.
All right. And my, I guess, last official question here. My PCL MVP prediction, Derek Morton Rivera, I think he's the best player at the current moment in time. The guys over here may feel a little different, but at the current moment in time, where would you rank your team at Derek Morton Rivera on the scale of PCL players?
I agree. I think he'll be the MVP. I think he's proven, time and time again, how great, he can be and how special he is. I definitely think he'll be an MVP, first team All Catholic again, and um, I think once he get his MVP, he'll, staple, he's the best player, in the Catholic League.
So
My
a
final
debate.
question. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
Some of the guys, actually most of the guys who voted on the best players in the PCL put RJ Smith up there. My opinion on that is that you can't really put a guy who hasn't played a minute in the PCL ball at the very top of the list. What's your opinion on this debate? Because a lot of people have gone back and forth about it.
I agree. Not playing, 1 minute PCL, it's kind of tough to, rank him, up there. But I guess, we'll wait and see, and we'll find out, where it goes.
All right, thank you.
Um,
Yep.
Off of Ryan's question about RJ, I kind of want to ask about just the fact that we know that you guys are going to be at the top of the league. There's no doubt about that. But you have Roman and Newman Goretti, among other teams, that add in new guys. How are you just kind of obviously they're guys you probably know, but you haven't seen in PCL play much. Kind of how do you expect to be able to adjust to new guys, new play styles coming to some of your competitors at the top of the league?
Can you repeat that question again?
Just with like Newman Goretti and Roman adding transfers among other teams, how do you just expect to be able to adjust to those new guys coming into the league and get ready to play and hopefully for you guys to beat those teams?
We're sure, Roman and Newman are going to be two really good teams. They always find a way to, stay at the mountaintop and, be a really respective opponent. Honestly, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Things can change, within the next 6 months when the season starts. I think, they always, find a way to, make themselves, good and, a really respective, team to play against, a good team to play against always. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see in 6 months and see where they're at.
Nick?
Yeah, I think I got one more here. How did it feel to defeat Roman Catholic 3 times?
It felt great. I think each and every win it just got better. Because it was the more we were doubted, the more we kept playing them. No one expected us to beat them. The first time, they said no way we'll beat them the second time, and no one had us winning the third time. They just said it's no way. Everyone thought they were too good to lose to a team 3 times. So it was just it just kept getting better, and I think we just kept proving everybody wrong, and I think the doubt has made it a lot better.
Ryan?
Sorgi, where do we rank Nas in the PCL media poll? Where's Nas? Around the 20
I'll check. I
something?
don't remember. I think whatever you said was right.
Somewhere in the 20s, 23, something like that.
Yes, 21.
21. Nas, if I could just ask, what out of however many people, like 15 people, you ended up as the 21st best player in the PCL. What's your opinion on that? And how high do you think you can climb over the course of the season?
I don't really, get in, really looking, to like player rankings and all of that. But I guess, I'll have to, go out there and prove, well, I'm definitely a lot higher than some guys that were on that list. But it isn't, I don't really look into things like that, so it doesn't, I don't really have no necessarily opinion on that. But I just have to, go out there and prove why I believe I'm a lot higher than that.
All right. Nick's over here making fun of me for eating my sandwich. Can you believe this, Nas?
Not
I
true.
I gotta eat too, right?
That's not true.
This is ridiculous.
Nas, I guess unless any of you, Nick or Ryan, do you have any other questions?
Maybe. I
I'm
missed
good.
Ryan's RJ Smith question. So I'm gonna, try not to repeat after him, but I might have a one more here.
Well, then I'll just go ahead and ask as you think that out. Nas, you guys are going from the hunters, the underdogs. You talked about how you guys were down each and every time you played Roman. Now you're the hunted as the champions both of the PCL and of the state. How does that does your mentality change, or in your head, or are you guys just always the underdogs who are trying to prove that you're the best?
Your mentality definitely changes. It puts you in a different, state of mind that now, everyone's going to give you the best shot when you play. So you just got to, come a little more focused, a little more prepared, and, go harder each and every time you're in the gym, knowing that everybody, wants to beat you and everyone knows like who you are and, the name across your jersey is. So it definitely puts you in a different state of mind and it just motivates you a little more just to go harder.
Any
All right.
other questions, guys?
Mm-mm.
I'm
No?
good over here.
Okay, well, Nas, thank you for joining.
All right, thank you guys for having me.
And have a great day. Best of luck next season.
All right, thank you.
That was Nas Tyler of Father Judge on the show. Another great interview. These judge guys give spectacular answers. Ryan and I know that from when we talked to Kabir Kennedy last year.
Oh yeah, Kabir.
I got
really
to
went
talk
at
to
it.
Derek Morton Rivera.
Yeah, they did get to talk to Derek Ford Rivera. Okay, Ryan, I heard you want to talk about UFC, so make it quick, but go ahead.
Dude, Derek Lewis, what a knockout. You see that? I'm sorry, I almost let out one. You see that? Derek Lewis just throwing haymakers, and then he takes off the pants as well. I mean, just absolute entertainment from Derek Lewis, man. Listen, he's not ever going to get a title fight again, but even an interim title fight. But I mean, that dude is entertaining as hell. I love seeing him in the main event of a fight night. And I mean, if he's just going to knock out dudes like that, and I mean, come on, that's one guy I'd love to interview one day, Derek Lewis. That dude is something. But yeah, he's great. Yeah, that's all I really had to say. Also, Wonder Boy got screwed out of a win. I was pissed off about that.
Okay, let's take it. Or Ryan, before I move on, any thoughts on Wimbledon, Cooper Flag, or the Phillies?
I mean, the Phillies just got to keep. Excuse me. I mean, the pitching just got to keep going. It's got to be one day. It's always one or the other. It's whether it's the pitching or the hitting. That's the problem. They got to meet in the middle here, but luckily they got time to do it. We're at the All-Star break. Guys are getting healthy. Cooper Flag. I mean, he looked great in his debut. But I always take the summer league with a grain of salt. Just because it's the summer league, but that was the expectation from Cooper Flag to dominate out there, and he looked absolutely incredible. We know what he can do on the floor, which is just about everything. And good for Cooper Flag. It's probably right by Dallas to shut him down. There's nothing really left to prove in the summer league.
Any comments on Sinner versus Alcaraz yesterday in Wimbledon?
I don't even know who that is, so Bert's gonna move on.
Well then, you're gonna have to watch when they come to New York in September.
Is this tennis? Is this tennis?
This is tennis's new rivalry. The Italian
Really?
the Spaniard.
Can't call it a rivalry though,
No,
Ryan.
it's a rivalry.
They're very good. They're very
respect
good
each other,
friends.
but it's a rivalry. It's a very respectful one.
I mean, let the best man win. I don't know.
Okay, there you go. Baseball Road Tripper wants us to talk about the home run derby, so gents, give your picks.
The home run derby.
Yeah.
Oh
Ryan?
shoot, I don't. I mean, I would assume Acuna is one of the favorites, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm either going Acuna or Cavarali.
Yeah, I'll probably go Acuna, honestly.
Nick?
I want Rowley.
I want him too, but I think it's going to be Acuna to win. And then Ryan, thoughts on the MLB draft last night?
Oh, the Phillies. I mean, they got another pitcher. I'm happy about it. I mean, listen, I didn't know too much about college baseball this year. But I mean, I'm glad what the Phillies did. The pitcher that I got, I watched a little bit of him after they drafted him. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Phillies right now with their draft pick. I mean, once again, I don't know too much about him. I watched a little bit of him last night. I mean, it looked good. I mean, there's not really much more I can say about that.
Thoughts on any trends in the MLB? Red Sox 10-game winning streak.
Ooh, Red Sox, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hate to cut you off there, but I mean, listen.
Yeah, Acuna did pull out.
Oh, Cooney pulled out?
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Jazz Chisholm taking his place.
And yeah, Nick, who did you pick?
Cal Raleigh.
Raleigh.
Yeah, Raleigh. Yeah, Raleigh. Yeah, I'll probably go with him then. But what do you call it? Yeah, the Red Sox. I mean, even though their president of baseball operations is a complete buffoon, trading Devers away after he lied to him, and that's a whole story. But that's a different story for another day. But yeah, I mean the Red Sox. I mean the roster is constructed really well. Like, as much as stupid as Breslow was for trading away Devers for pennies on the dollar, the roster is still constructed really, really well. Garrett Crochet is having an absolutely incredible year. So I can't hate on the Red Sox at all. I mean, their roster is really, really good. It's just that their front office is just absolutely abysmal.
Yeah. And by the way, the Red Sox now sit 6.5 games back of the best record in baseball. Of course, the Tigers currently hold that. The Dodgers a game back. For the Cubs, it's a 1.5 back. Behind them, Houston and Milwaukee 2.5 back. Toronto and Philly 3.5 back. The Mets at 4. The Yankees at 5.5. Padres and Red Sox at 6.5. This is a playoff picture. I think you guys would both agree where any of the teams I just mentioned could win the entire thing. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
100%. I mean, until the Dodgers lose, I can't pick against them. Honestly, I mean the talent that they have, their rookie, whatever I can't pronounce his name, has been incredible.
I agree with that baseball researcher.
I mean, listen, the dude was batting like 300 something in May. Didn't have the greatest June. I don't know how he's batting in July, but the dude's one of the best power hitters in baseball and overall hitters in baseball. His OPS was insane at one point in this season. I mean, listen, if he has problems, then if he has problems in San Francisco, then good for Breslow. But to be fair to Devers, they signed Bregman to play third base, and they just assumed that Devers was not going to move. It was just going to full-time DH. Now, should Devers have done it? Yeah, but you should at least tell your third baseman that you're moving him when you sign a guy to play third base. It doesn't make much sense to me.
I will say the story got out of San Francisco is that Devers skipped out on a practice session with Giants legend Will Clark. Clark was there, and Devers just no-showed. That's not the type of guy I think the Red Sox wanted. I think the Giants are dealing with that issue. Of course, the Giants at one point were towards the top of the NL, but now they've fallen into 6 games out of first place in the National League. So they're a fringe playoff team. We'll see if they make it or not. But for the San Francisco, they're in an interesting spot. By the way, Matt Olson in the home run derby as well. He replaced Acuna. So thanks, Nick, for that note.
To be honest with you, when it comes to Devers and Red Sox, I think that everyone's wrong. To be honest with you,
yeah.
Like I mean, there's a lot of people who are wrong in that situation.
2 final thoughts before we head out of here. First, Caitlin Clark versus Paige Beckers yesterday. Fever with a 102-83 win. Paige had 21-4-4. Caitlin Clark 14-13-3 on the day. Thoughts on that, gents?
Let me just go first. I actually have to get out of here after I say this. That Caitlin Clark is, I mean, that if that's going to be some sort of rivalry, like a friendly rivalry, then I think that's going to be one of the best in the WNBA. That's what we need in the WNBA. You need a good rivalry. And I think that Paige Beckers will probably turn out better than Angel Reese, if I'm being honest with you. So I think that rivalry, 2 guards, that are absolutely incredible. And it's going to draw a lot of viewership to the WNBA as well, not just at basketball-wise, but for, business-wise. I think it's going to do wonders for the WNBA. But, fellas, thank you for having me. I got to get out of here. I'll see you.
See you tomorrow,
Thank
Ryan.
you, RPG.
Peace. All right. Oh, yeah, Sorgi's coming in. All right.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow at St. Joseph's Preparatory School, 17th and Girard, in beautiful Francisville, Pennsylvania. Nick still hasn't been to the prep. We need to get you out there at some point.
I have not.
I guess you'll be there for basketball next year. Before we go, Nick, Chelsea, champions of the world, shocking 3-0 win over PSG yesterday.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess I won't go about the past few things that
if you want to say anything, but my computer's on 1% again. So.
Oh, okay. So computer's on 1, so I'll make it super quick. Caitlin Clark, number 1 in Fever history for 10 assist games, didn't have her best scoring game. Paige Beckers always going to bring the scoring, very good. Fever scathe out there with a victory. Chelsea, not predicted to win over PSG. They score 2 from Cole Palmer before the 8-minute mark, which is huge. Cole Palmer, obviously the best player on Chelsea, and who everybody thought was going to need a huge game for Chelsea to pull through. Cole Palmer ends up just absolutely dominating. They get 3 at half. PSG is shut out, and we end with a 3-0 game. Chelsea is Club World Cup champions.
Okay, thank you everyone for watching. Chelsea champions of the world for the next 4 years. Home run derby tonight. We'll be back Wednesday at 11 a.m. Bryce Presley of Roman Catholic joins the show. We will see you then. Until then, have a great one and go Crab.